All right, first and foremost, opening statement. We got to give North Carolina Central a lot of credit. Coach Mack, there's a reason why they've won championships there in a short amount of time. They're a good football team, and I know the score might not reflect it to you, but the issues and the problems they caused us at certain times, as a credit to him and his coaching staff. That front seven on defense plays extremely hard. They got a lot of transfers. They play really hard for them. They got really big inside guys. They got a rush in that we would take today. We would take him on our football team today. He's that good. And then on offense, that quarterback, when he gets hot, he gets hot. He's proved it on film. Maybe not at when he plays the FBS schools, but when he plays the FCS schools, I mean, that's a team that scored 70 points numerous times. I mean, they can score, and that receiver's on a lot of draft boards. So again, that's what's going to happen every time that you play an FCS school. That's going to happen. But I will say that he's got a really good football team. I give him a lot of credit. And besides 4 plays, I was really proud of our defense. 3 plays that were missed assignments in the first half ended up touchdowns. So we got to get those things corrected. But they're correctable, which is a great thing because it's a mental error. We've got so many freshmen playing in the secondary, which we know that. And so we've kind of dummied down a lot of the things we've done to be able to create them to be able to play fast, play faster. When you have an experienced secondary, you can do some other things. But when you do some experiment with some things and you get burned, you got to kind of go back and say, okay, we got to get these guys ready to make our players successful, not the scheme successful. The players have to play in the scheme, to be successful. We've got to adapt the scheme to the players a little bit better than we did today, but I thought we did for the most part, did an outstanding job of that. On offense, anytime you score 70 points, I think that's the first time we scored 70 points since when? 96. And again, that wasn't the goal of today. Again, pulling the starters in the fourth quarter is not the goal. But I will say is that I'm very proud of our offense. Coach Shiraka, Bill Kenny, Brian Callahan, Kenny Burns, Matt Simon. I'm just really proud of those guys and our GAs because every time we got the football, it seemed like we scored. Every time they scored, we scored back. There's a weather delay for an hour and some minutes. And they scored right before half. We got the ball, scored. And they just go about their business. They go about their business, and I respect that. And I'm very proud of our staff, very proud of our football players. A lot of people scored touchdowns. A lot of people got a lot of playing experience. We've got to continue to bring the bottom up in the program and let the top continue to rise. Special teams, really proud of Coach Wanger. One thing is, like I said, if you have how, you can play at Western Michigan. You have how, you have heart, you have soul, you have spirit. It doesn't matter how big you are. You can play here. We'll take you. Because that's really what our special teams are. We don't play a ton of starters on special teams. We've got what we call quad team members. We celebrate all of our quad team members at the beginning of beginning of special teams meetings on usually Friday with their own personal highlight tape, like the Austin Guidos of the world, the Trevor Sweeneys of the world, the Leo Okwojis of the world. Those are the guys that really make our football team elite. And then obviously you got a guy like Darius Phillips. Like every time he touches the football, he's dynamic, and there's a reason why he's back there, and you saw that reason tonight. But it's fun to watch these players play for each other. It's a players-ran team now. Remember, elite teams right there. Bad teams, no one leads. Average teams, coaches lead. Elite teams, players lead. And it's right there. Those players led, especially in the second half. So with that, open up for questions.
You mentioned how many guys on your team scored. I think it was 8 players, 1 on special team. A guy like Davon Tucker gets to score a little bit. How nice is it having as many weapons as you guys do?
It's better than having no weapons. Better than the alternative. I think, everybody always asks me, like, what are you going to do without Braverman? What are you going to do without Braverman? And it's always a coach's challenge, right? You want to have elite players move on. And I'm so proud of Daniel and what he's been able to accomplish and setting his dreams forward and wanting to accomplish that in the National Football League. That's what this program's about. This program's about your dreams coming true. Whatever you want to put on your bucket list, you better not write it down if you don't want it to happen, because it's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. We're going to find a way to make that happen. And Daniel was like that. And, he moved on there and said, what are you going to do without Daniel? Well, there's so many people that are in an advantageous position behind Daniel that never got a chance to show what they could do because Daniel was always in front of them. Daniel was not going to come out of the game. I wasn't going to take him out of the game. Coach Simon wasn't. Coach Shiraka wasn't. One of the best players in college football. We were going to take him out of the game. And but the guys like Michael Henry, the Carrington Thompsons, the Keyshawn Watsons, the Anton Curtises, the D. Eskridge now has an opportunity to play. But again, it all stems around Big Dog. It all stems around 84. Because people are going to continue to double cover him. You got a lot of double coverage even tonight. And I don't know what he had. I mean, 7 catches, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he was double covered. So last week he had 7 catches, 70 yards, and he got double covered. It's going to happen. I mean, we know that. We know that as a coaching staff. But guys like Tucker, I mean, we had 4 running backs score touchdowns, guys. I mean, Bogan was over 100 yards. Bellamy was over 100 yards. Franklin was darn near over 100 yards. And then Tucker scores a touchdown. I'm just proud of those guys. I really am. Carrington Thompson really coming to his own. I would like to see Michael Henry make that catch in the first half, as I think we're up 42-7 or something like that, and he drops that one. But other than that, I thought they really played really well. And we got to keep growing higher. We got to keep learning. We got to keep getting better as a football team, especially as individuals, and especially as that position, because there's going to be crucial games we're going to need them to play and step up and be the guy that has 8 catches for 200 yards possibly. So, but again, we have a lot of people that are going to touch the ball. That's better than just one guy. So again, when everybody asked me about the rotation at running back, you saw why tonight. 17. Remember, I don't have the stats. 17 carries, 16 carries, 17 carries for the 3-headed monster. I mean, if it doesn't get as close to, even as that, I don't know what does. But you can see what they all do well, and as we continue to go, we'll be able to find out what they do really well this year.
Hour and 7-minute weather delay right at halftime. You go in, obviously make your adjustments, but then what do you say to the guys to kind of?
It's our culture. Never let the circumstance dictate your behavior. Period. You don't have to say anything really. I was not happy at halftime. I do know that by a few plays, and they understood that. But on the other hand, came back in after the weather delay, told them about, never let the circumstance dictate your behavior. Our coaches did an outstanding job of coaching through and using that hour and 7-minute delay as extra meeting time. That's all we were doing in that locker room was meeting, making adjustment. There's no wasted time. Don't ever wish away time, and we didn't. We used every minute of that hour and 7 minutes, and that's a credit to our coaching staff. But again, never let the circumstance dictate your behavior, period. And we would have waited 4 hours if they wanted to wait 4 hours. It didn't matter. We had a job to do. We had to be able to keep our oar in the water, and that's what we were going to do.
Coach, you got pretty chippy out there. How do you make sure that your players how do you make sure that cooler head prevailed in this game?
Well, again, that's a pretty emotional game, and I'm always going to defend my players, right? And when our players are coming back over saying things to me, I'm going to make sure the officials understand that, know about that, but also they've got to be able to keep calm. But as that game continues to go, tempers keep going up. We've got to be able to stay extremely calm, not let the circumstance dictate our behavior. But again, that's something we've got to address. We've got to make better. We got to continue to grow higher. But it's throughout the entire game, you felt it in the first half. You felt it was building up. And even me, just making people aware of that. You could feel it building up. And there's only so much that they were willing to hold back, and they've got to be able to the cooler head prevail. They've got to be able to do that, and they've got to be able to step back. Some of them, I'll have to look at the film. I don't know if what happened or who did what, but I didn't see a lot of, I would say from our side, I didn't see a lot of, Bush League stuff after the play. One of ours for Taylor Moten he was just driving the guy back, didn't hear the whistle, and drove him into the ground. I mean, that was a hustle play. The Spillane one, I don't understand. I didn't see that one, so I'll have to look at that one. I didn't really get an explanation on that one. I'll have to look at that one. But again, one of them was a little bit chirped back and forth. But it's an emotional game. Those are going to happen, but we got to just learn to walk away, period. And, we'll work on that this week even more. So they've always been really good at it, and tonight we didn't. So, we got to be better.
Rob mentioned that you're not entirely sure if Spillane will be there for the first half against Illinois, just because he was ejected for the unsportsmanlike penalties.
Yeah, do the crime, you got to pay the price.
What does he mean to this defense? I know we've talked about that, just him coming back.
Oh, he's an emotional leader. Oh, yeah, he's an emotional leader. He's a huge part of our defense. But again, we've got 3 other linebackers right behind that I have incredible confidence in. That even played tonight. Robert didn't play every snap tonight, so we're rotating some linebackers in. But again, I think you either learn the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is from other people's mistakes, right? The hard way is from your mistake. And this program's about education. The program's about learning. He's going to have to learn the hard way. But again, I didn't see the second one, so I can't sit there and say what he did. That was all the way across the other side of the field. So I'll have to reevaluate film before I give you a response on that one. But again, I love how hard he plays. But again, I'll have to look at it because I saw something different. So.
Coach, it seemed like this game kind of had a weird pacing to it. There were a lot of penalties. There were impressed with the way the team handled all of that?
100% impressed. There's a lot of things, a lot of distractions tonight. There are so many things that could get you off your row. There's so many things that could get you to turn around or to look somewhere else and be distracted and keep your oar out of the water. All they did was just continue to row. And that's why I'm proud of them, because not everything's going to be perfect at all. How you respond to everything, that's key. Every play has its own result, right? Every rain delay has its result. Whatever it is, they have a result. What really, truly matters is the response right after it. And that's why I'm proud of our team. Their responses were critical. In critical times, they had to be able to respond. But again, we got a lot of things to clean up. But that's football. I mean, you always find things you can get better at. And we got a lot to get better at. That's why I love this football team. Even them, you know, we celebrated in the locker room. I said, don't ever, 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 ever take winning for granted. I mean, that's where we're at in the program a little bit, which kind of scares you because you used to, 2 years ago, we'd pray for any type of win. And we're celebrating. And I kind of go in there, and the guys are just kind of hanging out like, yeah, we did it. No. We're going to enjoy wins, guys. Don't forget that. Oh, yeah, let's celebrate. But I think even them thought they could play a lot better and piece some things together. So we'll look at the film. We'll keep growing higher, and we'll make adjustments.
42 points in your first 2 games, and defensively, allowing 42 points. I think only 7 in the second half. How would you say your defense has done through the first 2 weeks?
Well, I thought they've done outstanding. Again, I would pick 6 plays, 3 from last week, 3 from this week, and that's what we have to be able to eliminate. But they play so hard, but it's always been that one play that kind of gets us at times. Again, I look at it from a coach's perspective. I want to be perfect all the time. I want it to be 100-0, right? And then the next week be 101-0. I mean, that's the way a head coach thinks, because when the offense is having success and they're moving the ball, but your attention's on the defense if the opponent's scoring. Same thing in practice. The offense is having success, it must be a mirror, a problem on defense. If the defense is having success, the offense, there's a problem. Now, special teams, there's always somebody that's not doing their job at some point. As a head coach, you are never satisfied, ever. Not walking off the practice field. As an offensive coach, you can be like, yeah, we really dominated the defense today. We're going to go home and sleep well tonight. The head coach is miserable because now there's something on defense you got to fix. Same thing. So, but I tell you what, we can talk about the 42 points. I mean, 7 points in the second half. Is that total?
I believe so.
For both games?
I think it was, 14-13 at half against
Northwestern? We played against them.
7-6?
Again,
Okay.
we can say what we want about, I'm sure everybody's going to dissect Northwestern. I don't know if I thought they lost today, I think. So everybody's going to dissect they won 10 wins the week before, the year before, guys. That's a really good football team. Everybody was there. That's a really good football team. Illinois State, that's a really good football team too. I think they're ranked in the country, aren't they? In FCS or something, aren't they somewhere? 6? Okay, that's a pretty good football team. And they won by a field goal or 2 points. So, Northwestern's lost 2 games by a matter of total of 3 points. Last year it was completely flipped, right? They were winning those games. It's just the way football goes. But football, our defense, I'm really proud of our guys. I really am. I'm proud of our coaching staff to be able to make adjustments. People have coaches, they get paid too at the other team to scheme us, to find little things that we do well and don't do well. And, they're going to get theirs here and there. But again, I love how our staff can make adjustments, especially going in the second half. And our offense has exploded in the second half. And then the defense has kind of shut people down. So we just got to keep growing higher, guys. We got to get a lot better. There's so many things we can get better at. I'm writing them all down on my notepad, and there's so many things we can get better at. And that's fun for a coach because tomorrow we're 0-0. And we'll practice tomorrow night, and we'll get after it, and we will get back to a lot of the fundamentals and details that we weren't good at tonight.
Going back to the beginning of the game, very first play from scrimmage, Corey Davis, long touchdown pass. Do you think that set the tone for the rest of the game?
It had to, yeah. I mean, I thought Coach Rocket did a tremendous job game planning. We had to attack early. We had to score early and often. We had to jump ahead, start fast, and I thought our players did. That was a heck of a route, a heck of a throw. I mean, we saw things on film. That's why you game plan and pick different plays that work. And, there hasn't been a coach that's ever game planned and said, you know what, I just don't think that play's going to work. We're going to do that one, So I'm just really proud of the execution. I think Zach tonight was close to 60-some percent, 70%. What is that, 70-some percent, 78%, 77%? Any math majors? Anyway, he's a lot for 255 and 4 touchdowns. He pretty much did the same thing last week, and then you saw all the guys touch the ball, and with a few drops in there. So we got to continue to spread the ball out. We got to continue to find ways to put points on the board because our schedule doesn't get any easier, guys. doesn't get any easier. I mean, that's one thing about our league. You even saw what Central Michigan did today. You even see what, I don't know if Illinois won today. Anybody know that? They did not win?
Pretty sure they lost. to North
Okay.
Carolina.
But again, it's another Big Ten opponent. So people can say what they want about different opponents. It's a Big Ten opponent. Big Ten. So we got another one next week. And Lovie Smith's a phenomenal football coach. And it's going to be the guy who's really done nothing, and the guy who's coached in Super Bowls. And so it's going to be a fun matchup. I know that. And we'll get the kids ready. I promise you that.